AI art isn't art. That probably isn't the first time you've heard that phrase, and given the advancements in AI, it probably won't be the last. The rhetoric that AI is coming for your jobs and that it will eventually make anime and movies has reached every corner of the internet by this point. The last 12 months alone have seen significant changes to the anime industry because of AI. OpenAI released its Studio Ghibli-inspired generative model. This led to representatives from the studio publicly demanding OpenAI stop training its model on their films. Since then, Crunchyroll has been caught using ChatGPT for several of its international subs. Most recently, Amazon introduced AI dubbing for some of its shows. It wasn't exactly a success.
Skipper, no please! No, Skipper! Hey, stay with me! Come on, Skipper! Hey! You gotta fight. Don't die on me, Skip. Don't leave me, please.
But easily the most important and the biggest development was the release of this. Twins Hinahima was a single episode special released in spring 2025. The episode was, quote, 95% generated by AI. Despite what some people are saying, the episode wasn't fully AI generated, but AI was used significantly during the production process, including the character design, colouring, and almost all of the actual animation. It was a landmark moment for AI's use in anime because of how extensively it was used. Unsurprisingly, it's not very good. The story, which follows two girls trying to go viral on social media before being sucked into a strange sci-fi world, is fairly generic. But there's something wrong with the animation. I don't mean in terms of how it literally looks, although there are some glaring problems there, but in how it makes you feel. I'm not the only person who felt uneasy watching the episode, or viewing any other piece of AI art, or slop as it's commonly called. Many others have also made video essays about the artifice of AI art. But I think there's more to this argument, and it has to do with the human connection to storytelling. Storytelling is an innately human creation. There are traits we share with other animals, art being one of them. But only humans are known to have the language capabilities to tell stories. Our brains are hardwired to look for stories. For videos on TikTok, shows on TV, and even video essays like this one tell a story. When we sit down to watch anime, we might appreciate the art style or the action, but it's all meaningless without story. But despite telling a story, Twins Hinahima doesn't show us one. What do I mean by this? I love exploring the reasons why anime directors and artists make the decisions they do, and how they impact the overall story. It's partly out of fascination for the techniques, but also for the hundreds of stories that lie behind what we see on screen. They could be simple, like Hideaki Anno choosing Christian imagery for Neon Genesis Evangelion, just because it looks cool. Or they could be deeper and more complex, like Studio Ghibli's depictions of war stemming from Hayao Miyazaki's experiences during World War II. Every frame of anime is the result of many smaller stories all coming together to create one bigger picture. But AI lacks that subtextual depth. You've probably heard people say that AI art looks and feels wrong, or that it feels emotionally flat. I believe this is why. AI art doesn't have a team of animators, or one person with dedication to a vision, just an algorithm. That algorithm has examined past anime and used those to generate a new image. But it wasn't inspired or influenced by them. It didn't have a reason to pull from those sources. It only did so because its algorithm told it that was the correct thing to do based on the prompt. It was a mathematical decision, not a creative one. One example that stood out to me in Twins Hinahima was this shot. The two girls are walking through the strange alternate version of their world. As they leave the frame, the camera pulls focus to the eyes behind them embedded in the walls. It's a fairly basic shot setup that's often found in the horror genre. The reveal creates a sense of unease in the audience. The shift in focus implies that the girls hadn't noticed the eyes yet, and how they walk out of frame suggests that even stranger things are about to happen. At least, those might have been the reasons if a person were behind that focus pull. But AI doesn't generate images that way. It doesn't pull focus because of how it will affect the audience. It does so because it's mathematically copying other horror shows and movies. Imitation and homage are common in filmmaking and anime, but those who do it best don't just imitate for the sake of it. They add another layer when creating their versions. AI-generated art can't add emotional subtextual layers. It is purely a mathematical imitation. It's like when a classic film gets remade many years later, but the new filmmaker doesn't fully understand what made the original so special. The surface layer is there, but the depth is missing. With AI art, that applies tenfold. It's what sparks that subconscious sense of unease when we see it. It's a strange phenomenon because we can be tricked by AI art. I'll admit I have been in the past. But the moment you realise it was generated by AI, you can't unsee it. It's as though your brain chemistry has changed how you view the image or video. Yet, we immediately feel that sense of depth when we see human-created art, even if we don't know why we feel it, or what's causing it. It could be a masterpiece, or incredibly shallow, but we feel those imparted stories. My favourite anime example comes from Dandadan. Before Season 2 was released in 2025, I was fortunate enough to interview one of Season 2's directors, Abel Gongora. We briefly discussed AI in the anime industry, and his response was amazing. Before co-directing Season 2, Gongora directed the opening credits to Season 1, in between those flashy shots of Okurin and Momo. You may have noticed shots that looked like they were drawn on paper. Well, that's exactly what they were. Just knowing how these images were made adds a lot of depth to them, but Gongora's reason for designing them that way makes their impact even richer. We are talking a lot about AI, and I thought that was really cool, to push the opposite way, something AI is not able to do. I also wanted to try a traditional approach, like having more cuts that were done on paper and pencil, because it's not so usual lately in Japan. The cuts you see that look like pencil, this is really pencil. It's not digital at all. Gongora's anti-AI sentiment is nothing new within the industry. While some Hollywood filmmakers appear to be embracing the tech, the anime industry is far more protective of its artistic practices. While Hayao Miyazaki was making Borrow the Caterpillar in 2016, he was shown an early prototype for an AI animation program. His response feels more timely than ever.
僕はこれを自分たちの仕事をつなげたいとは全然思いません。極めて何か生命に対する侮辱を感じます。
The argument that you might hear in defense of AI art is that it still requires a person to input the prompt. That person would then have their own influences, adding some subconscious depth to whatever is created. But it doesn't work that way. To put it into perspective, if I hire a painter to paint a portrait, I tell them how I want it to look, and they go and paint it. Does that make me an artist? Am I the one who painted it? No, not in the slightest. I might have had a small hand in its conception, but my emotional and creative footprint is nowhere near it. That's embedded by the person holding the pen. When an anime director works with their animators, they are collectively imbuing a show with that emotional footprint. When a person puts a prompt into ChatGPT or another generative AI software, any essence of emotion is destroyed by mathematical formulas and algorithms. So what does this mean for AI's future in the anime industry? Despite fear-mongering sentiments becoming commonplace online, the future of AI-generated anime isn't as secure as some might have you believe. But it's not because of creators taking a stand. It's because of audiences like you and I. I don't mean that to sound corny, but look at these clips from Twins Hinahima. Do you really want to see more of that? Hopefully your answer is a resounding no. The future prospects of anime are only as secure as the number of people who want to see it. It's the same for movies and their sequels. If a film underperforms at the box office because no one went to see it, the studio won't make any more. But if a film succeeds, even a bad one, the studios know there is a hunger for sequels. That principle applies to anime and AI's future in the industry. For as long as there are people craving real human stories, there will always be a place for human storytellers. This is an even stronger case with anime. Japan has already proven to be defensive and protective of its artistic industries. The rise of AI has only made the industry more defensive. So while the threat of AI in other areas of the workforce is an increasingly realistic one, AI art isn't art. And it never will be. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. I know this isn't my usual kind of scene breakdown, but this is a topic that I've wanted to discuss since I started this channel and since I held that interview. Hopefully my thoughts resonated with you somewhat. If they did, or if you think I'm completely wrong, let me know in the comments. It'd be interesting to see what other people think about AI art and its future in anime production, especially because AI is already so divisive. I'll be back to my usual scene and theme breakdowns in my next video. But if you're still looking for a video that wildly overanalyzes anime, why not check out my recent exploration of Neon Genesis Evangelion, or you can find any of my other anime video essays in this playlist. Either way, thank you.